Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python intermediate session. So in our previous video we have covered topics that tells the basics of Python in the beginner session, and also in intermediate session we have covered comprehension, lambda function. So if you haven't seen those previous videos, there is a link in description box. Please go through those videos so that it becomes easier for you to understand this one as well. There is also a link of GitHub repository where you can find all the exercises that we do in these videos from the first lesson till now. So you can find those exercises, just go through that, try to understand that. And if there is any confusion, any doubt, please ask me. Write in the comment box, and I will give you more examples so it will be easier for you to understand. And also, please write in the comment box how do you like this video, how I can improve this video so you can better understand things, or it becomes easier for you to grasp or to practice. Not the same as I'm doing in the exercise, but if you do it independently, you can do it easily. So today we are going to learn about file handling. What is file handling? Why we use file handling methods? So basically, suppose you are in a school and you want to save the information of students, or you are in a marketing team where you want to save the records of your customers. So in Python, what you do, you fill every information by yourself and then you do operations on that. But if you don't save it, you have to do from the scratch again and again. So to keep the information, to save the data, you use a file. You create a file where you can store the data, and whenever you want to do further operations on that, that can be manipulation or adding more values, you can just fetch the data from those files and work on that. Even if you want to get data from different applications, so you fetch the data as a file from there. That time you also use file handling methods. So file handling is an important part of a web application as well. So to create, to read, to update, or even to delete a file, you use file handling methods. There are a lot of built-in functions and also modules that you call doing these operations. So you can read or write text files here, CSV file, HTML file, and even Excel file with file handling methods. So there I have created a table where you can see all the functions with the description and syntax, why we use it, how we use it. There is also different modes that we use while opening the file that tells you why you are opening the file, to read it, to write it, or to update more values in it. So there are different modes, different purposes we use the files. Here, first, what we are going to do, we are going to open and close a file. So first, very important thing, when you work with file handling, when you open a file, it is really important, when you are done, close your file. So if you want to save all the data that you changed while doing the file handling operations, you when you close it, it means you are saving also all these informations. If you don't close it, that data can be corrupted, your file can be corrupted, or when you open next time your file that you made the changes could not be saved. So to make your file safe and secure, and your data to make it safe and secure, always close your file after doing all the things. To open a file, we use open method. In that method, we describe or we mention two parameters, that is first is file name or file path. If the file in the same folder where you are doing your with your Jupyter notebook, then you just mention file name. But if the file is saved in another folder, then you describe the path of that folder with the file name, and then with the comma as a separator, you define mode, why you are opening that file, to read, to write, or to open value within the codes. To close the file, you use file object that you create while opening the file with close method. So here is the first example. We are creating a file object with the name of file, and then we are using open method in which I have given a file name demo.txt, and I'm opening it in read mode. So if you didn't mention, or if you don't mention any mode here, by default it take it as a read mode, so it opens a file for you to read only. Here you can see that is our demo file demo.txt. It is in the same folder. That's why I'm just writing the name. If it is in different folder, for example, you make a folder file here, so you give the file name, folder name, file slash, and then file name. So always remember, if the folder is in the same, if your file is in the same folder, then you just mention file name. If it's in a different folder, then you mention a path of that folder with the file name. To read the file, I'm using read method here with the file object file that we have created here. It can have any name, it doesn't need to be a file. You can write f here, you can write text here, you can write any word here. I chose to write file, that's why it is file here. And I have put it in a new variable that is called line to read the file, and I'm printing line here. So what line will do, it will read by the read function all the content that demo.txt file has. And when I print the line, it will print all the lines, all the context in the demo.txt. And then I'm using file object with close method to close the file. As I told you, it is really important to close the file, otherwise it can create an error or it can corrupt your data inside. So if I run it, it will print all the values that demo.txt has inside it. So it has 4 lines, you can see here: first, second, third, and fourth, and all the lines being printed by read function and printing that variable in which I'm storing all the values. Now here you can see another example. You can limit your content in the file as well by describing a number here. So here 15 means, it doesn't mean 15 lines, it means 15 character. So first 15 character I want to read. I don't want to read all the file information, I just want to read first 15 characters. So if I print it here, it will give me first 15 characters in the file, that is hello welcome. So you can limit your content you want to read and show. Here, another method that is read line, that will read line by line the content from your file. So, for example, if I just want to read only one line from the file, so I'm reading read line, I'm giving that content in line variable and I'm printing it. If I run it, it will give me only one line. But if I want to read second line as well, then you need to define read line again, and I'm printing it again. So it is giving me line by line, first line and second line. Because by read line, it will take your cursor in the end of the first line. So when you do again read line, what it will do, it will read from second line, from the end of that first line till this line is completed, second line is completed. So that's why there are 2 lines printed. Now there is one more method that is called read lines. That means it will read all the lines in the file. So if I run it, it will show me all the lines. Here is the first line, hello welcome to the demo file slash n, that means next line what is the next line? This file is for learning file handling in Python. Then again, next line, and so on. So it will print all the lines, all the contents that file has. So if you have read escape sequence, you know what does that mean. It means next line. So here you can check also the length of your file, how many lines your file has with the len method in line. So it will tell you how many lines it has. It has 4 lines. You can see it here. This file had 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it printed the length of the lines are 4. If the file is too big and you have done a lot of operations, or you have done a lot of operations with that, and you forgot what was the name of the file actually, so you can check file name with file object dot name. So it will show you file name, that is demo.txt. You can also check on which position your cursor is in the file by tell method. So again, file object with tell method, it will tell you your cursor is in the position is 169. You can even reposition your cursor by seek method. Here 0 means I am taking my cursor in the beginning, in the first starting of the file content. So that's why it is 0. If you run it, it will show you where the cursor is on the 0th position. So here file object dot seek method will take your cursor to the defined position. If you don't give here 0, if you don't give any number here, it will take you automatically on the 0th position. Or no, sorry, it will give an error. So you have to define a number here to take your cursor on that position. Here, close the after operating, after performing all the operations with the file, you need to close your file as I told you, otherwise your file can be damaged. To check your file is closed or not, you use closed method with file object. When I print it, it will give you answer in boolean true or false. There is another method, another way to open a file, that is with open. Sorry, first we will, yeah, you can loop also in file handling. So here, file, I opened it in reading mode, and you are what here I'm performing, I'm reading line by line all the contents in the file with line method, not method, with for loop. So here I didn't use any method like line or read method. I'm just directly looping through the contents in the file line by line. So if I run it, it will give me all the contents that file has line by line here. So for example, if your file is too big, there are too many lines in the file. If you directly print it, it can take a lot of time to process. But with for loop, you can limit to read your file like 5 lines you want to read by range method, and then you can print all the contents here. So for loop is also important in file method. As I told you, there is another way to open the file with open method. So what is the difference between to opening file just with open and with open? So in open, when you use file object here, file equals to open, then you have to close the file as well. But with open function, you don't need to specifically write the close function, because after performing all the operations, it will close your file automatically. So here I open the file here with open file name. I didn't describe any mode here, so it will take automatically by default mode, that is the read mode. But I have defined file object here with as file. So here I'm defining file object with as, and here I'm reading the file line equals to file dot read and printing it. I didn't use close method to close the file, but when you check it, if its file is closed or not, yes, it is closed, because with open, What it does, it always closes file in the end. Now we'll do how to write in an existing file. So, as I told you, there are two methods, even more than two methods to read and write. Here I'm explaining A and W. A is for append, that means if you want to add more contents in the file, and W is for write. So, if whatever content you have in the file, what W does, it overwrite on it. So, your existing data will be removed and your new data will be there in the file. For example, here there is one more thing. If you use A and W or to write or append in the file, it looks for the file name. If the file doesn't exist in the folder, it creates a new file as well. So here I'm using demo.txt file in append mode. That means I'm adding content in the existing file. So here demo.txt you can see here. So it will not create any file. It will add content in the existing file. So when we run it and we check again if the content has been added or not. So you can see in the next line with slash n, now the file has more content being added in the file. Now I want to append one more content in the file. That is the file name is democopy.txt. And let's see what happens here. You can see demo.txt is not here, but as I told you, if it is not in the folder, it creates a new file, demo copy. Here you can see now it's a new file with append and write mode. And if you want to check the content in the demo copy, yes, the content is has been added. Welcome to a new file if the file does not exist. Otherwise, what happened if you use just demo.txt? So demo.txt has new line, create a new line with this content. Now here I'm using W mode, that is the write mode. Do you remember what I said before? What does write mode do? Yes, you were right. It overrides the contents. So it removes the previous content and it creates a new content in the file. So let's run it and check what happened with demo copy. Now demo copy has only one line, and that line is hello, the content has overwritten, not the content welcome to a new file. Right? I hope you understand it. If there is any doubt, any confusion, please write in the comment box. Now we are creating a new file that is demo copy 1. Because why we are creating new file? Because you can see here there is no file that name demo copy 1. So when we run it, what will happen? It will create a new file demo copy 1 which has a content welcome back. In next line, new file has been created with new content. When we read it, you can see the content has been added in it. Now, how we can read and write at the same time? With R plus mode, you can read and write both. And R plus also do the same thing. If the file doesn't exist, what it will do? It will add a new file. So it will create a new file. So here in the write mode, I'm reading demo copy 1. So when I'm reading it, the cursor will go in the and then in the next line this content will be added. So when we run it and now we want to see if the content been added, yes, you can see welcome back, new file has been created with new content. It read first and then in the next line, because slash n is here, a new line has been created that has the content. We can manipulate files using different modes. Here you can see, right? Now, there is another way when you read one file, but if you want to write into another file. So, you, for example, here I'm writing and creating a new file as well, new.txt. So, I'm reading all the data that demo.txt has, and I'm copying that data in new.txt file. So, first I open that file, then I open a new file, And then in the for loop, I'm reading line one by one, and in the new file, I'm writing it. So you can see demo.txt has a file object read file that I used here as well to read the lines. And then new.txt has a file object that is new file, and that I'm using with the write method to write the line that I'm reading from demo.txt. So if I'm running it and I want to see what new.txt has, so you can see all the contents that demo.txt has now new.txt has also. If I want to append value of demo 1 in new.txt as well. So this is the same way as I created the file. I run it, and if you want to read, the new content has been added in new.txt. If there is any confusion, any doubt in it, please write in the comment box and I'll give you more example. Now to delete the file, we use OS module. So that's why we import first OS module. And in the OS module, there is a method called remove. We use to remove or to delete a file. So os.remove, then we give the file name or the path. And then when we run it, this file has been deleted. Now you can see demo copy has been deleted from here. I hope you understand it. If there is any confusion, please write in the comment box. Also, write how you like the video or how I can improve it. Please don't forget to press the like button if you like the video and subscribe it so you get the notification when I post my new video. So keep learning, keep practicing. See you another time.